What's going on, YouTube? Time for the recap. So, as we like to start off here on the X, we'll come into some of the trade calls that we were working with this morning, 8 hours ago. Posted this one pre-market. I said best case short entry, no golden pocket, 1 minute. And I circled the GP right here. The golden pocket entry was 22,312 on the NQ. You see my limit buy at 22288, right? Pretty solid call as well. I don't think I posted the chart. There's the P&L. Regardless, we got the short. So we're going to go over today. We're going to go over why we picked this. Excuse me. Holy moly. Entry for the short. And then we'll go over a couple of the journal calls. Holy moly. I'm dying here. Today on the NQ as well and ES. Now, this system here, we had a double gap lower, which means 1 minute gap here, 1 minute gap here. Everybody that's on the novice world, the regular traders, dumb money retail, which is me as well, but a lot of novice traders that don't understand algorithms would have been looking at this as an inverted head and shoulder long. And I told my chat this was the top right here, okay? And I said we're not going over 61.56 before we cut back down to fill both of these gaps as well. That is part of the big trade call that we had just went over on NQ. Here's the rest of the trade call. This one turned out a little small, but we had an algo here in Qs, short underneath there into the GP. Same with SPY. We'll go over that. Again, all of these are time-stamped way before they happen. So, and then last but not least, on the SPY, we were looking for over 10 SMA trend up to fill the gap on SPY. So let's get into everything. We'll start on the NQ like we said. So, excuse me. I'm feeling it here today. As we get in, I'm going to redraw everything for you guys here. So let's just start a new set real fast. Ooh, I don't want to do that one. I want the weeklies on this one. All right, we'll go to the 1 minute here. Now, a golden pocket tag and no GP, okay? So we have an open gap that's left open here on NQ. Hint, hint, that's going to be your long target, 22,305. I'm already calling long. Well, I'm not going to give you that yet. Into the end of the video, I'll show you where this week where NQ is going to top out. So in the early session before this big old drop off right here, notice the Fibonacci I called. In the picture I showed you 8 hours ago, again, always timestamp before it happens. If we are right or wrong, doesn't matter. So as we come into the 1 minute chart, I draw a high low from this 1 minute at 2 a.m. Central. Pay attention to that time frame. Tell me why you think it's important in the comments, and I'll tell you if you're right. 2 a.m., no golden pocket. High low, GP, no tag, right? Price action's down here. We got nothing. Price action down here. We got nothing. Let's back up to where it said Brandon said short entry. Look familiar? So, like we said on the X there, and for a couple different reasons on ES. Oh, I got to reposition. My cancer gut is kicking my butt here. We had a no GP tag. Magnets on golden pockets come back, right? So I actually did a short scalp right here down to VWAP, and then we had the Trump news, right? A little bit of ending Ukraine-Russia war. And that's what kind of came out and gave us this pop-off VWAP right here around 7 a.m. Central. Now, this no GP 1 minute right here was still waiting for a tag. And as you see on my X, give us a follow over there if you want to see some of this stuff predicted beforehand. We called the top right here of NQ. We entered in. I don't know where we entered in. I showed you exactly where it was, but rewind the video. It's right here around 2231, 322 or 32, right around there. Now, I got this target because of the no GP tag, right? So when a candle is developed, the center of that candle, I don't care what time frame you're working on. If you're a scalper like me and you're working with the 1s and 5s, 30s, 15s, they work when they work, okay? It's not if, but when. That's how Fibonacci works. It's not if. If you draw it correctly, it will work. Not if it will work, but when it will work, okay, for Fibonacci. So as we drew this out, we got the perfect entry on the way back down. And called the lows to the half candle retrace, okay? So that is the reason why we took the trade short, called it on X before it happened, showed you guys the entry exits and the P&Ls. Now, again, we only went for the 1 minute tags, okay? So I kind of kicked myself in the ass here a little bit because notice this green gap right here, okay? That green gap, which I had a price level selected for that. I don't know why that didn't work. I got to click it 37 times. Oh, there we go. Apple and Thinkorswim just don't get along. So that 1 minute tag back here was the whole reason, and I'll show you ES after this, that we knew that we're topping out here. We're not going any higher with that 1 minute GP. I put my limit orders right here for that 1 minute gap, right there. So you see me make $4 grand, $3 grand on a couple of those accounts. Yeah, well, I left some money on the table, boys, on that one. So ES, let's go over that one real quick as well. Now, ES, a lot of my tags are still on here from our live trading, but let's get into the ES short as well. So what did we do? 2 a.m. What did we mark off? No GP. What are we going to do right now? The same thing. Bam. So 1 minute, no golden pocket. Now, again, this is where the top I said was going to be, not going over 61.56 because we have multiple gaps. Notice that I filled everything out for my chat here. Fill target short, 2 1 minute gaps. Boom, boom. Same exact thing as the NQ. There we go. And that's what she looked like for most of the trade plan, right? Now, I drew this gray box for support, and I said it'll probably hold here. Then I drew another trade plan for my crew right here, and I said trend over 1 minute 10 SMA, looking good for long above yesterday's highs for 1 minute gap fill. Now, I just moved this down for the 10-minute trend because we had this marked up higher, and I just kept moving it down because it wasn't over yesterday's highs. So we came down to this gap right here, and that's what this message is all about. So let's get into the SPY and QQQ, the last part of the video on how we knew it was dropping. For that. So we had a gap right here. I'm not going to go into why these are important. I can't give you everything, but a lot of my premium students pay good money and pay good attention to why we are learning these certain things. So I called 10 SMA over for it. Now, it wasn't that clean, to be honest, and it was very choppy, so I'm not going to sit here and take credit for this one. We did hit the target, but it was still garbage. So we created a 1 minute gap right here on SPY, and that's where I wrote on ES, where I said, wait for the trend to go above 10 SMA, long to the gap fill. Okay, well, as you see here, the 10 SMA had some very good choppy action in the blue there. Popped up and held, did a loop. Yesterday's close was the support called live for my group. So when it broke over from this consolidation period, it busted over the white dashed lines right there. Yesterday's close. So from there, it went up. Then it back tested. We call this confirmation trading. So it broke over the yesterday's close here, ran a bit, came back down, tested support, and then launched itself into the gap fill. Now, we didn't get a clean trend. It was choppy. Market's always going to do what it wants. We're not going to be able to predict the stuff, excuse me, on that market, simple as pie. But we do love to attempt it, right? So let's look at the daily chart reel and give you guys a prediction for the upcoming trade days as we are hitting those highs like we talked about, right? Yeah, this is nuts for the dirtiness here, which my super weaponized autism brain cannot handle. So let's turn this off and give us predictions for what we're coming up. I promised I'd give you the NQ target, so I suppose we'll start there. So for NQ, I have an unfilled algo here, and it is not that one. It is, bear with me here. There it is. 22,385.78. Okay. So with what we got right here and what we had seen on the dip, we needed to come back to some golden pocket tags. So what we're going to do is we're going to remember 22,385. We're just going to call it that, 22,385. Okay. And we have it marked off on a couple different weekly charts here. We'll just do clean for you guys here. Let's just do it clean. So one more time, quick. That's not it. 22,385. So this is going to be the top for the week right here. Bam. So this was left open on a hidden algo system back here, 1218. And I kept this little bugger on because I knew we were going to come back to it, right? So if you watched a lot of these videos in the last month, we called the 3 down, which things happen in threes in the market. So an all-time high in NQ, we've seen 1, 2, 3. We hit the support of the NQ, 100 EMA. We popped back up, and then we did 1 up. Crazy Powell stuff, high or low. And big W play kind of forming and moving, right? But we did finally, from last week to this week, get past some major resistance points on NQ. So we obviously have the prior, Jesus, I had to click that like 17 times here. Poor MacBook trying to run a Thinkorswim. All right. So obviously prior top resistances are going to become new supports, right? Everybody knows that one. We have a crazy algo sitting right here that needs a fill, and now we have a almost perfect doji daily from today's action. What do we look for? Well, we have an OGP tag here, and I bet you the 1618 is going to be pretty close. That's not what I wanted, Mr. Apple. High, low, boom. Oh, yeah, look at that. All right. So as we utilized another no tag GP 213, we came back up. Friday was decent. Here's Tuesday. As we came into the holiday short week, we should be squeezing up here. So what am I going to do? I am going to come to this area right here, and I'm going to hope, and we're going to watch the body of today. We're also going to high-low today, like we always like to do. I'm going to change these white, because that's just the preferred color for a daily for us. Then we're going to go to the intraday, and we're going to tell you what NQ has a chance to do. We had the back test of the daily support, right? Prior resistance becomes support. We had multiple algos open, right? Give you a little hint at the early part of the video. Wink, wink. There's one right here. So now we're dealing with two open algos. And as long as we are above today's body, right? And above the white daily fibs for the open, which we get about 12 minutes till futures. So what we're going to do on the open here is we're going to watch the golden pocket. So this is the support range where the long will take place. It's the golden pocket of, well, today. We're going to call it yesterday, obviously. So this whole range, I like to turn purple just for over-unders because this is the range watch I'm going to put out. And this range is going to, even if it breaks down, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't care if it comes all the way down here because futures overnight, they do some crazy shit, right? And then so let's see if it pops back up. The second I see a long build inside the purple box, and as long as we are trending above 4 2s and a 0, as long as we're trending above the 50 fib, 22212, okay, it is going to be a green move. So anything above this 50, you're going to hit this algo from today, green move number 1. And then for the week, green move number 2 is anything above this, and maybe we get it tomorrow. I don't know. I was hoping for weakness, but since we are just so close to these algos, I assume that maybe in the next 2 days we'll get these two moves. So the further prediction is going to be 22212.16, the 50 fib, which is just the high-low, excuse me, of today, which we're going to call it yesterday because we're playing today at 5 p.m. And as long as the futures will hold up a trend above the 50, we're going to move to 22,304.85 and then 22,385 algo displacement. So both of those levels we're going to be hoping to get the end of the week. Now, we could mess around here a little bit, and I'll tell you the places that you should watch out for. And we have a 50 tag on this guy, but minute 14:55 Central, 14:50. We have no GP tag right here as well. I think there might even be one right here. Yep, another one. So the lowest point of price action magnet, if we stay under the golden pocket that we just from, worst case scenario, we see 222134, still looking for upside. And the other worst case scenario would be this golden pocket right here. And that comes in 221, so we'll call it 180, just above 180. So this minute candle right here and this minute candle, they both, or 5 minute candle, both have no GP tags. So we're going to be paying attention to that 1450, 1320. That's how many feet is in a quarter mile for a drag race. Love it. And then we're going to look for the long. So anything over the golden pocket right here, we're scooping. So tomorrow and or tonight, target 22304. I'm going to go for a beautiful long here from here to here, 94.5 points. If you want to see me do this stuff live, predict it before it happens, and talk my chat through it, teaching the processes, not spoon-feeding alert trade services. I'm just showing you what I'm doing and why, so you can pick it up and build your own trade style. If you're looking for an alert service and somebody that you're just going to give a measly $100 and some to, and they're just going to make you rich, please don't join. You've already lost the game. That is the psychology we do not need. So if you want to see me do this live, the link's in the description. First one up there. If not, we'll see you on the next YouTube video. Trade safe. Stay curious, my friends.